Tonight, the start of a special TMJ4 Lighthouse investigation, a series we call Duty to Disclose.
It's going to open up a can of worms for them. They're going to have to do a lot of explaining.
The truth is slowly coming out now.
It's about the Brady List, a list of officers with allegations of crime, dishonesty, bias, or other integrity concerns. That information has to be disclosed to defense attorneys if a Brady List officer is called to testify. It's required due to a landmark U.S. Supreme Court case called Brady versus Maryland. For decades, the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office kept the full Brady List a secret. But TMJ4 hired an attorney, battled the DA's office, and won, finally forcing them to release this list.
After having received advice from the Open Records Office at the state of Wisconsin, we then turned over the list, and it's been turned over now to various open records requests now over the last several months.
That means for the first time, you get to see Milwaukee County's first Brady List. We have spent months digging into it, partnering with the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel and the nonprofit newsroom Wisconsin Watch. We've all investigated the names on this list together. Lighthouse reporter Ben Jordan joining me now with an unprecedented investigation that has been months in the making. Ben?
Steve, tonight and over the next several weeks, we will be answering a lot of questions. Why was the full Brady List kept a secret for so long? Is it missing officers? And are police departments and prosecutors fulfilling their duty to disclose? Ask Milwaukee County's top criminal justice officials and they claim everything is fine. But we spoke with victims, defendants, public defenders, and civil rights attorneys, and they say the system is a mess. This is Milwaukee County's full Brady List. 191 current and former officers.
I think we have to remember that our clients have liberty at stake.
Milwaukee police documents show the following. Former officer Kevin Zavadil attempted to file a false hit-and-run crash report while off duty and tried to get an investigating officer to pause his body camera on scene.
If you lie, that is the cardinal sin in law enforcement.
According to MPD documents, former officer Daniel Garcia was accused of lying to investigators in 2014 about an off-duty fight that resulted in the false arrest of several citizens. And records show MPD officer Kenton Birch marked down $1,100 worth of overtime he didn't work. There are a lot of reasons why officers landed on the Brady List. And that's why our investigation raises a lot of questions for the highest leaders in Milwaukee County's criminal justice system, the chief judge.
Credibility is really important.
District attorney.
I certainly agreed with turning it over once it was turned over.
Along with Milwaukee's police chief and the Milwaukee County sheriff.
Why did your office not want to release the full Brady List until we got a lawyer involved?
You know, this has been actually attorney work product because it really is a list only created by our office for use of by its attorneys. And so that's generally how we've always viewed it, just like we have a lot of other materials in our office that are purely attorney work product.
Again, 191 total officers. 2/3 are from the Milwaukee Police Department. The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office has the second most, but nearly every suburban police department across the county has at least one officer on the list. About 80% of entries are for criminal charges or convictions. The rest are for internal violations. 22 officers are on it for multiple reasons, and dozens are still on the force.
Somebody can just make a mistake, and if that's the case, then their employment is retained.
Police officers' testimony is often key evidence that sends someone to prison. That's why we believe the public deserves to know about the full Brady List, who's on it, and whether they're taking the stand.
How often are Brady List officers called to testify? Is it rare?
I don't know the answer to that.
Public defenders say because of our investigation, they're already noticing a difference.
The 2 notifications I've received were just this year. Within the last month, I received the notification, but before then, I have not received any notifications from the Brady List.
During our interview with Milwaukee's police chief and the Milwaukee County Sheriff in January, we learned their departments don't tell their officers if they're on the list.
We don't ask about the Brady List, sir.
Chief Jeffrey Norman says he doesn't even know who's on it.
Should you know who's on the Brady List?
No.
The Brady List we received last fall only contained basic information: name, department, criminal case numbers if charged, when they were added, and brief descriptions for violations like integrity, untruthfulness, and theft. There's no summary of allegations, corresponding records, and almost all of their employment statuses were left empty.
Could you explain why?
Our list, as our attorneys view it, within the office contains links to information that the attorneys are able to access then and then turn over in a courtroom, if appropriate, to the defense lawyer if, in fact, one of these officers is a member of the trial that we're moving forward on.
So that information is kept, it just wasn't on the list we received?
I think that's accurate, yes.
The DA's office says it makes no representations as to the accuracy or completeness of the Brady List. After receiving the list in September, we partnered with the Milwaukee Sentinel and Wisconsin Watch to begin filling in the blanks. Our 5-month-long investigation uncovered inconsistencies on the list. At least 5 officers on the list we got in September are dead. Another officer had his criminal case expunged. 2 officers never worked for the department next to their name. We got an updated version of the Brady List last week. DA Lovern took 7 names off the list after we asked about them. What does that tell you about the completeness and accuracy of Milwaukee County's Brady List?
I just don't think it's accurate.
That is not there, right? They don't have an accurate list.
We continue now our special Lighthouse series, Duty to Disclose.
We are going back to the tasing and arrest of Sterling Brown, who was a Milwaukee Bucks player at the time.
Taser, taser, taser!
Just one Milwaukee police officer, Eric Andrade, was put on the Brady List following the arrest that made national headlines.
The Brady List is a list of officers with alleged credibility concerns due to past accusations of crimes, bias, untruthfulness, and other integrity concerns. Tonight, Sterling Brown's lawyer is raising questions about why a sergeant did not make the list.
He helped orchestrate the takedown of Sterling Brown, and he was a sergeant. Absolutely more culpable and guilty than Andrade.
Lighthouse reporter Ben Jordan takes those concerns to the district attorney.
How you doing? You got a driver's license?
Body camera footage takes us back to 2018.
Can't get another squad here.
When a Milwaukee police officer found a car parked across handicapped spots at a Southside Walgreens.
I own this right here. You don't own me though.
The officer approached Sterling Brown to ask why he parked there.
And you parked across 2?
Within minutes, several officers respond to the scene.
I just wanted one.
One of those officers was Sergeant Jeffrey Krieger. He's seen here shining a flashlight in Brown's car.
I got stuff in my hand.
A short time later, he grabbed Brown's arm, leading to the takedown and tasing of Brown while he was on the ground.
Taser, taser, taser!
During an internal affairs interview, Krieger was asked to explain why things escalated so quickly.
He got really agitated with me looking into his vehicle, and now I see this gun.
During a deposition in court,
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. This is a gun?
Brown civil rights attorney Mark Thompson questioned Sergeant Krieger about what he claimed he saw.
Did I read it right?
You read it correctly.
Wasn't true.
Oh, it was, yeah, that I did not see a gun.
Police records showed targets with bullet holes in them were inside the vehicle, but there was no gun.
It was my belief that he was armed or possibly armed after seeing the targets in his car.
For his role in the Sterling Brown arrest, MPD records show Sergeant Krieger was suspended for 10 days as the department determined he failed to be a role model.
So if you never saw a gun, why are you telling Internal Affairs that you saw a gun, sir?
I must have misspoke and nobody caught it.
Nobody makes that kind of mistake. Not a sergeant with all the experience in the world. What he knew is he had to have sufficient threat to justify what he did to Mr. Brown.
The arrest never resulted in charges for Brown. The city paid him $750,000 to settle a civil lawsuit.
15 ayes, the committee report is adopted.
We're revisiting this story because we're investigating Milwaukee County's Brady List. An officer can be placed on the list for past accusations of crimes, bias, untruthfulness, and other integrity concerns. Their Brady violation has to be turned over to defense attorneys if they're called to testify.
The reason I'm concerned about Krieger is when the sergeant who's supervising is able to say to the internal affairs a lie and everybody knows it's a lie and keeps their job, what message does that send institutionally?
During our joint interview in January with Milwaukee County's top criminal justice leaders,
If someone wants to bring to us a concern, we'll take a look at it.
District Attorney Kent Lovern says Sergeant Krieger doesn't belong on the Brady List.
People make misstatements. People have misperceptions. People have a perception about one thing that when they think about it later realize they were incorrect about. That doesn't mean those were dishonest statements.
Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman declined to comment on the issue.
I don't talk about specific cases with bits and pieces, especially not being a part of that particular investigation.
Krieger never responded to my interview request. MPD said it wouldn't allow him to talk about the case. Ultimately, 11 officers were disciplined or retrained after the tasing and arrest of Brown.
I'm held to a higher standard. I get that.
Eric Andrade was fired and put on the Brady List after he made racially insensitive posts about the incident on social media.
They pulled up a bunch of stuff from Facebook, made me out to be a racist.
You know, I would disagree with our DA on this question of Krieger.
Thompson thinks it's unacceptable that Krieger wasn't included as well.
When you say that to the internal affairs, you're saying, here is my factual assertion on why I had reasonable suspicion to take down and attack Sterling Brown. To me, that is much, much more egregious than Andrade's after-the-fact posts and his violations of social media. I would believe Andrade before I would Krieger.
Reporting in Milwaukee, Ben Jordan, TMJ4 News.
Tonight, questions from public defenders about why 2 Milwaukee police officers are not on the Brady List, despite being deemed not credible in a criminal case by a Milwaukee County judge.
I feel like it needs to still be justice towards them officers. Why would you want to destroy a whole nother family? And you're supposed to be here to be served and protect.
Lighthouse journalist Ben Jordan shares why top justice system leaders say this is not Brady List material, while others in the legal community argue otherwise.
Roll down the window.
It's a night Lewis Moore will never forget. March 3rd, 2019. Moore says he was driving his girlfriend's car near Teutonia and Capitol.
Not doing anything wrong, sir? Well, you're flying, man.
According to a criminal complaint, Milwaukee police officers Chad Boyack and Anthony Malone pulled Moore over for driving double the speed limit.
They told me I was doing 60 and a 30. That's the reason why they was stopping me. And I did try to argue with the officer. I know for a fact I was not doing those 60 miles per hour.
Roll down the windows.
Body camera video shows Moore was asked to get out of the car,
Step out real quick.
patted down, and put in the back of a squad.
Watch your head.
While in the back of the squad, Moore tells Officer Malone his girlfriend's gun might be in the car.
Officer? Yep. My girlfriend, she's CCW. So there's a gun in the car? So I don't know if she either have it in the car or I could call her right now.
At the same time, video shows Officer Boyack search Moore's car.
Do you think they had probable cause to search the vehicle?
I don't. They pulled Mr. Moore over for speeding.
That's Caitlin Hazard-Fear, Moore's public defender.
In my experience, when I've been stopped, I've never been put in the back of a squad car for speeding.
Body camera video shows Officer Boyack locate a gun in the center console. Police records show officers spoke with Moore's girlfriend, who told them the gun was hers. The police report says she told officers she leaves it in her car to keep the gun away from her children. Moore was charged with possession of a firearm by a felon.
Well, for being a felon and having a gun in the car you're driving. Just keep.
And he was sent to jail.
He was on probation. He was very close to finishing probation. And because of this arrest, he was revoked. and went to prison.
As the case made its way through the court process, court records show the judge identified inconsistencies with the officer's testimony, saying there was no independent evidence inside the squad that showed Moore was speeding. No radar gun was used. The only evidence of speeding was the squad speedometer, which briefly showed the officers drove 2 miles over the speed limit to catch up with Moore.
If he were going 60 miles an hour or 45, those officers would not have had to go 32 miles an hour.
Additionally, the judge determined the officers provided conflicting testimony about their probable cause to search the car. Body camera video shows Officer Boyack explaining to Moore why he searched the vehicle.
Well, I could smell marijuana in there, and I could see some marijuana on the floor as well.
Documents show Officer Boyack found .03 grams of marijuana. An amount court records show Officer Malone described to be the size of only a few grains of rice. According to a transcript of Officer Boyack's testimony in court, he said he never saw any marijuana in the vehicle prior to searching it. Officer Malone told the judge he didn't see or smell marijuana when he approached the vehicle with the window down.
The truth is slowly coming out now.
This court document shows the judge suppressed the evidence, tossed the case, and said, "I don't find these officers credible in this case."
People that really need y'all help, that really pressing 911 for a reason, for an emergency, and you officers just stopped me and pulled me over by doing 32 miles.
The reason we're telling this story is because we're investigating Milwaukee County's Brady List, a list of current and former officers with alleged credibility concerns. That has to be disclosed to defense attorneys if a Brady List officer is called to testify. Officers Malone and Boyack are not on the Brady List.
Do you think that's Brady material?
Absolutely.
Why is that?
Because Judge Yamahiro made an affirmative finding that he did not find the officer's testimony to be credible.
During our interview with Milwaukee County's top criminal justice leaders, District Attorney Kent Lovern said that isn't Brady material.
Your prosecutor was in the courtroom at that time. Did they bring this credibility issue to your attention?
No.
Should they have?
No.
Why not?
Because credibility determinations are made all the time in courtrooms in specific issues related to a specific set of circumstances related to a traffic stop, for example, as we have here. And that doesn't necessarily mean that officer, then one or two of the officers were dishonest about their testimony.
Chief Judge Carl Ashley agrees with the DA.
I believe in this case, the judge said, I don't find the testimony of the officer to be credible. And we do that all the time.
Hazard Fears says that hasn't been her experience.
I would like to see them. This is the only decision, and in May it will be 21 years of practice where I have had a judge make an adverse credibility finding.
We took the case to the leaders of Milwaukee County's Public Defender's Office.
One judge found them not credible and that what they were saying was untruthful. That should be something that was disclosed to us in the future on our cases.
Police records show officers Malone and Boyack were never disciplined for being found not credible in this case. Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman says it wasn't brought to the department's attention. Officers Malone and Boyack never responded to my interview requests, and MPD wouldn't make them available for an interview.
So I believe 100% sure these officers, both Boyack and Malone, should be on that Brady list.
Moore thinks the situation raises serious questions about the completeness of Milwaukee County's Brady List and whether credibility concerns in court are investigated.
Tonight, we are going back to the case that sparked our interest in obtaining Milwaukee County's full Brady List in the first place, in partnership with the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel and Wisconsin Watch.
There's no way that I would even trust his testimony. Like, his testimony shouldn't even be considered at this point.
That is Monica Nash. She wants to know why the same deputy who botched her hit-and-run investigation, Sean Bassich, was never referred to the DA's office for Brady List consideration, despite being suspended for allegedly making racially inflammatory remarks to black people years earlier.
Before becoming an emergency manager in the Air Force, Monica Nash spent 8 years in law enforcement, so she knows about Brady Lists.
Were you aware that racial bias is a qualifier for the Brady List?
Absolutely. That pretty much tops everything.
Last month, Monica met us halfway between Milwaukee and her military base in southern Missouri.
You drove a long way to speak with us today.
Yes.
Why did you want to be a part of this story?
In hopes that the sheriff department would actually take a look at their actions, actually take a look at their force.
For years, Monica has fought for answers from the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office about why a mysterious hit and run was never solved.
This was a clear-cut case. Like it was no hard work needed to be done because the person who hit me, his vehicle was left on scene. There were multiple witnesses there, who had interactions with him prior to him even leaving the scene.
Most concerning to Monica, she'll never learn why the suspect demanded she hand over her newborn baby before he took off in a getaway car.
He's saying, "Give me the baby, give me the baby." And I'm like, I'm not giving you my baby.
The deputy assigned to investigate the crash that January night in 2020 was Sean Bassage. The now former deputy declined our interview request to be part of this story. Records show Bassage never followed up with key witnesses to Monica's crash, and he neglected to place DOT video into evidence. It resulted in a suspension. Sheriff Danita Ball was chief deputy at the time.
Sheriff Ball, why did it take us so long to have this conversation? We reached out to you on multiple occasions last year, and you declined our interview request. Why didn't you want to talk about this?
There wasn't anything to add. The deputy did a poor investigation.
While Monica was furious about how the investigation was handled,
he's not even taking his job serious.
Her anger only grew when she learned what we uncovered about Bassage's past. Internal affairs records show he was disciplined 8 times in his career at MCSO, including 5 suspensions. Internal records show that Bassage was suspended for 5 days for an off-duty incident in 2016 when he went to a Walgreens drunk and made racially inflammatory remarks. A store employee called the sheriff's office and claimed Bassage asked her, "Why does Black Lives Matter? What the expletive do I owe you people? What, 200, 300 years?" Records show Bassage told investigators the conversation was about him being, quote, sick of taking care of black people. He went on to tell investigators, quote, "I did make racial comments that were as far as me paying taxes for minorities."
As a black woman yourself, how does that make you feel knowing this is the person who was assigned to investigate your crime?
It just brings a whole nother level of anger. Why is a person like that allowed to be on the sheriff's department?
Bassage also got suspended after he was accused of passing a counterfeit bill at a Fond du Lac bar.
Do you think Deputy Bassage should have been put on the Brady List?
Well, that was before I was sheriff, and I won't comment on what went into why the decision as to why he was not referred to the district attorney's office.
Sheriff Ball says that decision wasn't up to her at the time, and she says there's no going back now that she's in charge.
But what about the previous cases involving the racial bias?
So we're going to go back and relitigate those cases? That's not what we do. Someone else had made a decision regarding the disposition of that case, and if they felt like it should not be referred to the district attorney's office, which apparently is the case, then it was not referred to the district attorney's office.
I then asked District Attorney Kent Lovern, who's in charge of maintaining the Brady List.
DA Lovern, do you think Deputy Bassage should be on the Brady List?
I wouldn't make a decision based on the brief conversation we're having here today about that.
And then Milwaukee County's Chief Judge, Carl Ashley.
Superficially, it sounds that, but I really have to defer to the DA's office to make those decisions in law enforcement.
We took their responses to Rachel Moran.
I am concerned about the sheriff's decision.
She's a professor at the University of St. Thomas in Minnesota who specializes in police accountability research and Brady List studies in particular.
The fact that someone else made a decision doesn't alleviate the current DA and the current sheriff from deciding whether information should potentially be shared.
Civil rights attorney William Sultan says it's something jurors deserve to know if Bassage were called to testify.
That is exactly the kind of information that must be turned over to lawyers, and the fact that it isn't is very, very appalling.
Sultan says this case raises serious questions about the accuracy of Milwaukee County's Brady List and if law enforcement agencies are fulfilling their duty to disclose potential Brady material to the DA's office.
If Bassich isn't on there, then you know that there are dozens and dozens of other officers that should be on that list that are not.
This is who you are. How does that not fit the characteristics, of being on the Brady List?
Monica hopes when she does one day return home to Wisconsin, Milwaukee County's Brady List will be better scrutinized and maintained.
To say that he doesn't belong on the Brady List, then I'm terribly concerned about who else is not on the Brady List.
Tonight, a Milwaukee County supervisor is questioning why dozens of cops on the Brady List were able to keep their jobs.
If we have an officer, we have a sheriff's deputy that can't go into a courtroom with a completely clean record, in any case, we're going to pay for it as taxpayers at the end of the day.
Lighthouse reporter Ben Jordan shares his concerns and why the sheriff and Milwaukee police chief say some officers deserve to remain on the force.
It was completely new to me, Brady List. No idea.
Like many people across Milwaukee County, Supervisor Sheldon Wasserman wasn't aware Brady Lists existed until our reporting.
When I heard about it, it kind of shocks you, what's going on? I mean, who are these people, and then how does it affect us as Milwaukee County residents?
Wasserman's biggest concern centers around why several officers on the list kept their jobs despite findings of untruthfulness or integrity violations.
It becomes a mushrooming effect where it really creates doubt in the public's mind. So the public wants clarity. The public wants clean, transparent government. And there is nothing more sensitive when it comes to the justice system. We want sincerity, we want integrity.
Across Milwaukee County, 28 Brady List officers are still on the force, based on an analysis conducted by TMJ4, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, and Wisconsin Watch. 25 of them worked for either the Sheriff's Office or the Milwaukee Police Department. Based on information provided by the District Attorney's Office a couple of weeks ago, 17 of those officers were put on the list for alleged integrity or untruthfulness issues.
We want good officers to have clean records. When you start talking about this gray area, maybe they shouldn't be officers.
About 2 months ago, the top leaders in Milwaukee County's criminal justice system agreed to a joint interview where we asked MPD Chief Jeffrey Norman.
There's levels to this.
And Sheriff Danita Ball why those officers remain on the force.
Somebody can just make a mistake, and if that's the case, then their employment is retained.
We brought a few examples to Wasserman of officers who got to keep their jobs despite integrity violations. A deputy made false jail log entries for inspection rounds he didn't conduct. 2 MPD officers marked down more than $1,000 worth of overtime they didn't work. And another MPD officer allegedly lied about someone stealing his department equipment.
This would not be allowed in my industry, in medicine. If we have doctors who lie when they see their patients and lie about diagnosis and lie, the state of Wisconsin's Medical Examining Board, which I've chaired, we take that super seriously. Doctors lose their licenses. They don't come back to practice if they start lying on forms.
What do you think needs to change?
I think that people have to point blank say that I think these officers in charge have to say no more. We cut. They're fired. Let them go.
A Milwaukee police officer convicted of a crime 9 years ago has finally been added to the Brady List. It took us asking the DA's office why.
We should expect better.
Nate Cade is one of 17 defense attorneys who discovered one of the witnesses in his client's case has a criminal history of his own.
What went through your mind when you got this letter?
You start questioning, is it a case that we should have fought for?
This letter from the DA's office informed Cade that Officer Jacob Bocek is now a Brady List officer, nearly a decade after he was convicted of disorderly conduct in Waukesha County. Information Cade says he should have known before his client pleaded guilty to a crime.
Obviously, that's not something that I had. It's not something my client had in order to make a decision. So while they suggest it has no bearing, perhaps they're right, my client, at least at a minimum, should have had that choice.
Court records show Officer Bocek was arguing with his wife in 2015 at their home in Brookfield when he broke through a bathroom door with a rifle after she locked herself inside and smashed her phone after she called 911. These police records show MPD conducted an internal investigation following Bocek's conviction and gave him a 30-day suspension for an integrity violation. After I brought the case to the DA's attention, I received an email saying we confirmed that we were not previously informed about this Waukesha conviction by MPD.
Who do you think dropped the ball here?
Milwaukee Police, hands down.
Why is that?
Well, this happened back in 2015, and not only did Milwaukee Police know about it, Internal Affairs investigated it. Internal Affairs officer was a 26-page report. This is something they clearly knew about and should have disclosed.